All right, here we go. It is another week and another episode of Chiropractic is Sexy. I am Dr. Paula Ruffin.
And I'm Dr. Erica Peabody. I see you guys are already here, so thank you for being here per the usual. We have a fun topic today.
Yeah, this is, everybody's coming in. I'm sure you're seeing it as well. Everybody's coming in and talking about their allergies and their sinuses. And so it's very timely that we can have this conversation before you start loading up on Zyrtec and Claritin and all of those dangerous drugs. So we're going to talk to you guys today about how you can take care of the sinus issues, the allergies from a natural perspective, how chiropractic helps with that, but then also when you go to the easy fix, like an antihistamine, what is that actually doing deep down inside the body? And I think that's important for you to understand the long-term effects of that.
Well, all those, just to kind of start out, all those drugs started as prescription drugs, and now they're just available over the counter. We've talked about this a lot, about being able to just walk into a store and buy something like that and destroy your body and have no idea what you're doing. Mm-hmm. So I always talk to my patients about allergies in particular, or a histamine inflammation response in particular. It's just your body's inability to integrate what's out and around, and it's our overreaction to something out in our atmosphere, and our overreaction is controlled and coordinated again by our central nervous system, which is our brain and spinal cord and the information superhighway that we've been talking about for years. And it's actually, people didn't actually realize that chiropractic could help with something like that. So I'm super glad we're talking about this. So super timely, especially here. We have all the blooming fruit trees, and I launched my boat the other day, and the black cover's covered in like yellow pollen, you know what I mean? And so, but I don't respond to it anymore. I used to. I grew up that way.
Yeah, I think the first time I really recognized that chiropractic was helpful for allergies, I was early on in practice. And I had a woman who was coming to see me. She's a dental hygienist. So she's bending over patients all day. So she came for like neck pain and headaches, something like that. And after about maybe 4 or 6 weeks of care or something like that, she had said to me, and I was so early in practice that I never even thought to ask about like sinus issues and that kind of thing. And she had said to me, "Do you think this is helping my allergies?" And I said, "Sure. I mean, of course. Like, why? Why do you ask?" And she said, "Well, I've been taking nasal spray every day for 20 years, and I haven't had to take it since I started getting adjusted." And I was like, whoa, that is insane. Also, the fact that somebody's been using nasal spray for 20 years every day without even a thought to say there must be a better way. Mm-hmm. And so getting stuck on that treadmill of over-the-counter medications, again, without any consideration for how it's affecting you, you are not deficient in nasal spray.
Right. Or allergy medication for that matter. Right. I have a really good friend of mine who he is just, I want to say, so he's maybe 52 or 3, but he's just getting on sort of the health kick, which a little late to the game, but super glad he's here. Right. And so he'll reach out and he'll say, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do this? Can you do that? So he's got a 4-year-old who brings home all the goop, right? They're 4. It's a boy. He's going to bring home the goop, but dad shouldn't necessarily be so reactive to everything, like be able to pick up everything. So he's been telling me over the last 4 months, well, since January, so going on 5 months now, he had a sleep test and he is on a CPAP machine, and his immune system, his sleep, his immune system, all of that stuff is so much improved. The reason why I'm saying this is not because CPAP is going to fix everything, right? But it does have to do with the sinuses, with the airway, with all of that. And he said, and last night he sent me a text, "Hey, I got a cold, and he used to have so many." And I said, "Well, here's the thing, like all the things that you're doing right now has been really good, But the years, when you talk about the nasal spray, the years and years and years of just inflammation, swelling, chemicals, and all of that, the body only heals through cellular turnover. It's not like the body's going to go in and like heal the nose cells. Like everything has to regenerate and turn over. And I was talking to him about this, about like Father Time being the great healer. But when you're talking about that nasal spray, it's like you didn't just like get off the adjusting table and then never have to use that again. But slowly but surely, you can start to regenerate your entire body, but your respiratory tract and sinuses in particular, regularly. And when we do that and we're headed in the right direction, we do some serious healing. So I was just reminding him that that healing takes cellular turnover, and that takes time.
Always. Well, and one of the studies that I was able to pull up was I'm going to just cite two studies that are actually in the show notes, so you guys can go in and see what we have in here. But this study said chiropractic adjustments may influence the immune system through the neuroimmunoendocrine pathway. And so that is just part of the immune system, how, things go, there's all these different pathways. So they go from one place to the next, and they influence one thing that you do affects and influences something else downstream, and it becomes this circular path. So a study that was published in Medicina found that spinal manipulative therapy can affect immune markers, including pro-inflammatory cytokines. So those are actually like anti-inflammatory, it's just the way they worded it there, and suggests that has a potential role in modulating immune responses. And then there's another study in the Journal of Chiropractic Medicine that observed that upper cervical adjusting techniques led to a significant increase in secretory IgA levels within 30 minutes post-adjustment. Secretory IgA plays a crucial role in mucosal immunity, acting as a first line of defense against pathogens. I have multiple patients that when they come in, I'll adjust them, and immediately it's like a fire hose coming out of their heads. And that's what's supposed to happen. Our bodies are wanting to eliminate the garbage. And so they'll come in, especially if they've been like stuffed up or they have a sinus headache or pressure or tension. And the second they get adjusted, I reach for the Kleenex box and I hand it to them.
Yeah, no, it's really true. And, the nerves of the neck and that particular study talked about the upper cervical spine, which if you don't know where that is, if you go to your ear and you go just behind it, there's kind of a hole right there, or a little indentation. That's where the very first cervical vertebra sits. And it's what the foramen magnum, which is outside of the skull, it's the hole that the spinal cord comes through, goes through the atlas first, then axis, and then we got 5 more vertebrae of the neck. So when she's talking about upper cervical, but these nerves go and they innervate sinuses, they innervate the nasal cavity, they innervate the flow of the fluid in the ears, they innervate the eustachian tube, which is the ear to throat connection. They innervate so many things. So as we release sinuses that way, there's actually some sinus release techniques as well, but just releasing the upper cervical spine. And then I do a lot of ear adjustments as well. We are able to just totally clear the head. And some people are like, oh, I'm noticing that I'm responding to my environment again. I haven't been in enough. I'm like, you haven't been in enough. But if we can choose chiropractic on every week, every other week, no less than 3 weeks, we are going to be able to stay ahead of all the seasons. I often talk about the sinuses when I talk about the digestive tract. So if we were to move from the US over to, let's say, an Asian country, there's a totally different digestive system that you're going to have to work with your intestines to be able to shift over to tolerate new food. So guess what happens when the world comes alive? Our sinuses have to then work towards shifting into a different atmosphere. We've got pollen, we've got trees now, we've got all that stuff. Hay fever, quote unquote, is simply the sloughing and changing of the sinus and mucous membranes to manage our world in a different way. Much like if you took your digestive system to a different country, you might have a little challenge there for a couple of weeks. Hay fever season. Don't medicate it. Stop medicating it. Let your body do the thing. I know.
Just dropping the mic. Well,
Yeah.
and when we talk about diet, I wanted to also bring in, I have this really fun it's called a cross reactivity chart, common cross reactions from different allergens. So many people, again, it's the seasonal allergies, but what most people don't understand is they also have some level of food sensitivity or food allergies. So just for example, if you have a ragweed allergy, you also shouldn't be eating bananas, dairy, eggs, mint, chamomile, melons, certain lettuces are on here as well. So that becomes then, if you have let's just say you have an allergy or sensitivity to dairy, and you decide that you're just eating dairy, and maybe you have a sensitivity, or you don't, it doesn't matter. But now we add into all the ragweeds and the pollens that are flying, well, your body can only take so much. We've talked about that before, is like the titration. There's that one drop that is all it takes to turn the solution of water from clear to blue after you've put so many drops of potassium permanganate. That was a chemistry experiment from many years ago that I will never forget. It was so powerful. So you just need that one extra drop to turn the solution. And that's what happens when you start building and building upon your poor quality diet. You're not, if you're actually doing exercise and you're breathing and opening the lungs and getting oxygen and purging those things from the body, that's going to be a very different effect than if you don't do those kinds of things. So it really becomes even more important to pay attention to the foods that you're putting in your body if you also have a particular time of year you suffer from allergies, and maybe start to think about, I'm allergic to cottonwood. What foods would also then share specific proteins that cottonwood does that I should probably avoid?
Yeah,
And
that's awesome.
yeah, and it's really, really powerful when you start to look at it like that.
Well, the cool part too, one of the patients I was talking to yesterday, she's got this 4-year-old that is just multiple times dysregulated here in the office when he's here, and he's fine as long as he's not getting adjusted. So it's not the adjustment, like I'm not torturing him, but it sure sounds like it. And it's better for him to get adjusted than not. But we were talking about, she's like, okay, then what should I give him? Because he's definitely has sensitivities, but he's, then now we're in the season too. But the one thing I was able to, like, you talk about this food sensitivity and the chart that you're looking at right now, and just the different things. And it's like, go to AI, you guys. Go to Chat GPT. That's what I told her. She's like, what should I be feeding my 4-year-old? I'm like, I never fed a 4-year-old. I know they're picky, but here's the thing. If you're trying to get certain things in their system and get them off of chicken nuggets and pizza, microwave pizza and noodles and macaroni, which is absolute garbage and will create the system and then lead to allergies and lead to asthma and lead to acne. All of this goes together. But go to Chat GPT and just ask a few of these things, because the awesome part about AI is that not only do we have Google at our fingertips, now we have all kinds of answers. And not that it's completely right, but I told this woman yesterday, I'm like, go to Chat GPT, go to Pinterest, go somewhere and figure out some things, get some ideas, because I'm not the idea generator. I'm just telling you what you need to do. I'm not going to be here let's make a food chart for your 4-year-old. No, I don't have time for that, nor the wherewithal, nor the desire. What I want to do is make sure his nervous system is controlled and regulated so that he can then better regulate out there in the world. And the allergy response to the world is just the over responsiveness of our sinuses to what's going on in the world, because they're already overwhelmed. One of our incredible teachers in chiropractic, Dr. James Chestnut, would always talk about the backpack. So you put a backpack on and you start loading rocks, big size rocks, this size rocks, and you're swimming with this backpack on. Like, you can only do so much before the load on your body. And Dr. Paula talks about this all the time, the stress, but we got to be ahead of it. We have to just be ahead of the stress just slightly. And chiropractic care is brilliant for helping us take some of those rocks out of the backpack, but also be making mindful choices out there too. So yeah, stay ahead of it.
And the reason we suggest to come with regularity is because your chiropractic adjustments, we're removing the rocks from the backpack, but somebody's behind you. It could be work, it could be family, it could be financial stress, it could be, and they are putting rocks back into the backpack, right?
And we can't ever stop that. That's the other part. We can't ever stop that. But when you talk about that financial, family, and all of that, it's like all of these stresses are bombarding our systems. And then people come in and they say, I didn't even do anything. You don't have to do anything. The world is enough. Lifing alone is enough to get and need regular chiropractic care. We have to tend to our spine and nervous system.
And we're good at compartmentalizing things. I do just want to stop real quick and just say a quick hello to everyone tuning in from It's All About the Biology. We really appreciate you guys being in here, and grateful to Ken Somerville for streaming us on his channel as well. And we are on all our channels. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, my channels, Dr. Erica's channels, as well as Ken's channel. So just want to say thank you guys, and appreciate you being here and listening to us. And please go over to Chiropractic is Sexy on YouTube and give our channel a subscribe. We would really appreciate it. Okay, that was my little public service announcement. So, but yeah, and you're right. We get into this whole, it just never goes away. And so I think Dr. Eric and I talked about this. Well, we've talked about it ad nauseum, I believe, but how she and I are business owners. We have very busy lives. We're active. We do all the things that we are sitting here talking to you all about. We are under stress. Like, when we have our private conversations, we're literally like, dude, I don't even know what to do right now. I didn't sleep well. Like, we are as real and raw with you all as, we are with each other. And so we're not here to hide any of that. We're here just to make sure that you are optimizing everything in your life. And the things that are causing inflammation, the things that are causing neurological dysfunction, brain fog, poor quality sleep, poor digestion, those are things that you can't just be symptom pill. We have got to get away from the symptom. There's a pill for every ill. There's a potion for every, complaint. Like, we have to get away from that and start to look at how do we optimize everything in our lives and paying attention to it. And that's, chiropractic care is, she and I will always, I'll be like, oh my God, I didn't get a chance to get adjusted this week, which I'm going to say that I was supposed to get adjusted tomorrow and they canceled yoga. So I'm not going all the way across town to go to yoga, which means I can't get adjusted over there. But I might be in your area, so I might come by.
Yeah, I'm traveling this weekend with chiropractors, so I'm getting adjusted every day.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
I definitely get adjusted every week. Yeah. But let's take it back to, since this, our focus is really the allergies season, and you can walk into Target, Walmart, CVS, whatever's out there, and be able to pick up something as simple as Allegra or Singular or whatever. I don't even really know what's out on the market. Number one, okay, I'm going to address Benadryl really quick, because that is an inappropriate drug for use beyond absolute emergency. Sometimes I'll have patients that are on it for allergies regularly, but they've been on it for years, or that's now helped them sleep. That is an absolutely detrimental to the brain, inappropriate drug to use beyond emergency only. But just the regular, normal little allergy medications. Let's talk about that a little bit. And I'm just going to give my little 2 cents, and hopefully this makes sense for all of you guys out there. Those have drying agents in them, which is how your sinuses dry up. It doesn't stop at the sinuses, though. It does not stop at the head. Now, if you were to put something directly in your sinuses to dry it up, that will have more of a local effect, but regular, simple little Claritin Singular, that is going to dry up all of the tissues in your body, including your spinal joints, including your spinal discs, including the cartilage in all of your joints, including the brain chemistry that is in a soup. These are not without major side effects. And one of the first ones that comes up is low back pain because you've dried out your discs. That is not appropriate to do. It's never going to work. So nice, you got rid of your little sinus congestion. Let's figure out some other products and we can maybe talk about a little bit of that. But you cannot take those allergy medications and be just fine. You can't. Don't do it. And you've got to figure out a way off of it immediately. So
yeah, one of the top things that I put all my patients on if they are on like Claritin or Zyrtec or anything like that is quercetin.
Yep.
And quercetin is a natural antihistamine. And when we talk about natural remedies, now if you take a Claritin, it is fast acting. That's how drugs are. So quercetin actually is pretty fast acting. It's pretty powerful in helping those sinuses. It's not going to work within 15 minutes like Claritin is, but maybe within 30 minutes to an hour, it'll start to clear some things up. And it's also super high antioxidants. So it has a lot of healing. And so when we talk about our natural remedies, we're talking about things that, yes, it's going to help the symptom, but it's going to help the symptom by healing and optimizing the pathways that are causing those symptoms. And that's really the huge benefit there is to get you to stop thinking, oh, I have congestion, so I'm going to take a decongestant. I have a drippy nose, so I'm going to take something that's going to dry it up. I've got diarrhea, so I'm going to take an anti-diarrheal. I'm constipated, so I'm going to take, we are in this big seesaw of life when it comes to how we want our bodies to function, and just stop it. Just like you said earlier, just stop, allow your body to do what it needs to do and pay attention to the things that it's doing. And if you don't like it, there is a reason. Your body is brilliant when it does certain things. And if you don't like what it's doing and how it's making you feel, then you have to figure out why. Mm-hmm. Just ask yourself, well, why is this happening? So many people end up going in for sinus surgery because they have polyps in their nose. You guys, that is nothing more than inflammation of the tissues inside the sinus cavities. And yes, of course, polyps form because they're walling off all the toxins because you've been spraying nasal spray and taking decongestants your whole life. So if we can get the inflammation down, improve your immune function through good chiropractic care, good quality food, lots and lots of hydration, because as Dr. Erica said, we've been drying out our tissues with all these drugs and everybody's certainly dehydrated. So it would be a really great idea if you have any kind of, if you've been diagnosed with polyps in your nose, ask yourself, why? Why are my nasal passages so inflamed? And what can I do to decrease that level of inflammation?
Well, and then they go in for that polyp surgery. Of course you feel better, but then you're just going to, they came back.
Yeah.
No
shocker.
Sherlock. No Sherlock, right? Yes, you're right, because that's not the answer. And Dr. Paula said the body's brilliant, and I will second that by saying, and it's never making a mistake. An egg and a sperm came together, created this incredible thing. It doesn't need a whole bunch of outside input. It needs no interference in what it's doing. We need to obey the natural laws of the body. There's no shortcuts. There's no way around it. We just have to do, but just know that it's never making a mistake. To have diarrhea, to get something out of the system, that's the smartest thing it could do. The absolute smartest thing it could do. My dog eats something a little sideways. This particular guy here, he barfs almost instantly. But I'm like, oh, well, he just barfed on the carpet. Yeah, it's inconvenient. Yeah. Do I like it? No, but his body is so smart, and we trust our animals a little bit even more than we trust our own bodies. And we really can get back to that, but it's the natural laws of the body we always have to be acknowledging and respecting and just continuing on, because it's never making a mistake. Dr. Paula mentioned quercetin. I have this incredible product. It's the only product I have on my shelf that, because of this, take this. Because of an overhistamine response, take this Histo-X product. It also has quercetin in it. And it is, I tell people twice a day for 2 weeks, twice a day for 2 weeks, or if you have extreme allergy reaction, every 2 hours. But then after 2 weeks, I'm like, test it. I took this product like 4 or 5 years ago after after wearing any kind of mask for COVID. My allergies majorly stemmed up because all that crap was being tucked back behind there and then infiltrating my body. I took this Histo-X product twice a day for 2 weeks, and I only have to take it as needed now. Like it doesn't fix it. It like resolves it, like resolves the body of that major histamine reaction. That's what Dr. Paula was saying. And when you look up quercetin, it's with a Q. In case you're on here Googling while you're watching, it's a Q, Uercetin, I think. But anyway, it's with a Q if you're looking for it.
That's impressive.
Or reach out to one of us. I have just a product that I love and adore here, and people write me behind the scenes that like, that was magic.
Yeah.
Get through.
And I think, and you're absolutely right, is that we are talking about optimizing health, and it takes time. And that's why we recommend supplements. So you're filling your nutritional tank and you have all the building blocks, but it is rare that we have certain nutrients. And that is definitely one of them. But herbs are like that too. There are herbs and certain nutrients that are like golden seal is also another excellent herb that will help with the antihistamine, the histamine response, with the sinuses, with your immune function. So there are a few things out there that are like super powerful. And when people take them, they're like, whoa, I can't believe how well that worked. Yeah. Yeah. Because it's supporting the body. It's not robbing anything from the body. And when you take all those over the counters, again, you have a false sense of safety and security because you can walk into a store and just buy it. No big deal. And when you can do that, you automatically think that it's safe and there's nothing wrong. But there are, especially if you've taken it for years, there's a direct correlation with leaky gut issues, damage of the gut microbiome, which then leads to autoimmune issues and all kinds of other, a slew of other chronic health issues. So
yeah,
we should probably do a whole show on just nutrients for allergies. We could easily do that as well. But yeah, I think you've got our favorite there.
What I've really leaned on so heavily myself I've had, my body's called me to a pretty intense healing response over the last 6 months. And really it's boiled down to all the way down to Whole Foods. That means not Whole Foods, not the store. Whole Foods just meaning like when you're looking at something, this is an apple, this is a piece of steak. This, like, there's no ingredients. I'm not reading ingredients. Even some of the really nicely built ingredients, once they're processed together, they're no longer nice ingredients. So anyway, it's really as Whole Foods. Like if you take your child and you take them off the macaroni and cheese and you take them off the processed chicken nuggets, the French fries, and the pizza, and you start to offer them other things, and yeah, they're not going to be excited about it. Of course, everybody wants pizza, of course. Mm-hmm. But I got to tell you, you're the parent, you're the adult, you are in charge of yourself, you're in charge of your children, but we just have to make the better choices of Whole Foods, because your body goes into your body and then your body's like, oh, sweet, I know what that is. Instead of like, what in the world was that? Send out an attack system immediately. That's the histamine response. It's like, oh, sweet, I know what to do with that. I'm going to go ahead and assimilate it and then put it over here. I'm going to make some new arm cells. I'm going to make some new brain cells. Like your body knows what to do with live things, and Whole Foods It doesn't know what to do with the processed crap that's out there. And that overwhelms the system, fills your entire backpack up. Every single meal you eat, do you want to fill up? I mean, it's just a disaster out there.
It is.
It's cheap and convenient, but it is a disaster out there. So,
yeah, which is why we're here. And Silly Lily had said, please do a show on nutrition for relief of allergies. And so tune in Sunday, because I'm going to do a full hour on allergy relief. And I am going to talk about nutrients and different ways dietarily that we can help ourselves. I wanted today's show to really focus and showcase chiropractic and chiropractic's role on the immune system as well as on allergies. But definitely mark your calendars for Sunday, because I will definitely go into depth there. I would love your questions and would love to have you participating.
Well, yeah.
So
we gotta like circle all the way around and wrap this up. I have like pinching minutes here to.
Yeah. So I was wrapping it up by just saying that's what Lily was saying. So Sunday for that. Dr. Erica, actually, I cannot be on next week. So we have to skip a week for next Thursday. We'll see you back here in 2 weeks, but I'll see you guys on Sunday. And Dr. Erica, have a great trip.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, you guys. See ya.
Okay.